What if I told you that 5 simple words, used with genuine sincerity, at the right moment, with the right energy behind them, could leave an emotional imprint in someone's mind long after the conversation has ended? Not because they are clever, not because they are rehearsed, not because you said them perfectly, but because they created something that most conversations never create. A genuine moment of being truly seen. Think about this for a second. When was the last time someone said something to you that did not just pass through your ears and disappear, but actually stayed? When was the last time a message made you pause, made you read it again, made you smile before you even realized you were smiling? For most people, those moments are rare. And they are rare because most conversations today are surface level, polite, predictable, words passing back and forth without ever quite touching anything real. And somewhere beneath that, somewhere quiet inside you, you can feel the difference. The difference between a conversation that lands and one that just passes through. Between a connection that is genuinely felt and one that is simply performed. Here is what most people never realize. The human brain does not remember everything. It filters constantly. It keeps what carries emotional weight and lets everything else fade into background noise. Which is why you can forget hundreds of conversations, but remember a single sentence someone said to you years ago. Today, we are going to talk about 5 specific words that create exactly that kind of emotional memory. Not because of the words themselves, but because of what they represent when they come from a place of genuine presence and honest intention. Stay with me through all 5, because by the time we finish, something will shift in how you think about every conversation you have from this point forward. Welcome back to Secrets Inside the Mind. I am Liza. Every single day on this channel, we have honest, real conversations about human psychology, attraction, and the truths about connection that most people never say clearly. If you are not subscribed yet, please do that right now and turn on your notifications. I post every day, and I genuinely want you here for every conversation. Now let us get into this. The foundation, why most words disappear. Before we get to the 5 words, I want to explain something that will make everything else make sense. Most conversations fail to create any lasting emotional impression, not because the people having them do not care, but because the words they use carry no emotional weight. They are safe, generic. They could apply to anyone in any conversation at any time. Hey, how are you? Good. What are you up to? Not much. These exchanges are not conversations, they are filler, and the brain treats them exactly that way. It does not bother to retain them because there is nothing emotionally significant to retain. But here is something fascinating about how human memory actually works. The unconscious mind is not logical. It is not organized by chronology or category. It is emotional. It is visual. It is associative. It retains what felt significant, and it discards what did not. Which means that when your words carry genuine feeling, when they communicate real curiosity, real appreciation, real presence, they do not just get heard, they get felt. And once something is felt deeply enough, it lingers. It shows up in quiet moments. It replays when she is alone and not consciously trying to think about anything at all. Psychologists call this emotional anchoring, the phenomenon where a positive emotional experience becomes associated with the person who created it, so that thinking of that person later automatically recalls the feeling. That is what we are building toward today. Not tricks, not impressive lines, genuine, emotionally honest communication that creates real moments rather than forgettable noise. There is one more thing I want you to understand before we begin. These words only work when they are real. The human brain is extraordinarily good at detecting incongruence, the gap between what someone says and what they actually feel. When words do not match energy, tone, and intention, they lose their power instantly. Which is why everything I am about to share only becomes powerful when it comes from an honest, genuinely present place. With that foundation in place, let us talk about the 5 words. Before we get into the first word, please subscribe to Secrets Inside the Mind right now. I am Liza. I post every single day, and every video is a real, honest conversation about human psychology and attraction. Hit that button and let us get into this. I want.
The first 2 words are simple, almost uncomfortably so. And that discomfort is precisely what makes them so powerful. I want. Pause for a moment and notice what those words feel like to say. For some people, they feel grounded and direct, clear. For others, they feel slightly vulnerable. Almost too exposed. And that reaction tells you everything about why they work. Most people avoid clarity in their communication. They soften their intentions. They hide behind vagueness and uncertainty to protect themselves from the risk of rejection. Instead of saying what they genuinely feel, they say things like, maybe we could hang out sometime if you are free. No pressure. And while that might feel safe, it does not create emotional impact. It creates ambiguity, and ambiguity is forgettable. Now, feel the difference when that same desire is expressed with clarity. I want to take you to dinner this weekend. I know a place I think you would love. There is no pressure in that sentence. There is no demand or force, but there is clarity. And clarity is attractive in a way that vagueness never can be, because it signals something rare, emotional maturity. The willingness to express what you genuinely want without hiding it behind performance or protection. Here is the psychological mechanism at work. When you speak with calm, grounded clarity, you create polarity. You create a dynamic where one person is settled in their intention and the other is completely free to respond authentically, without having to decode what you actually mean, without having to wonder whether you are actually interested or just being polite. That kind of clarity is a gift. It removes the exhausting ambiguity that most people carry through their interactions, and when someone offers it calmly, without neediness, without urgency, it is genuinely refreshing. The critical thing to understand is that I want only carries this power when it comes from a centered, secure place. If it comes from neediness, it feels heavy. If it comes from insecurity, it feels pressuring. But when it comes from someone who is genuinely comfortable in themselves, someone who can express desire without needing a particular response, it feels safe. And safety is what allows real attraction to grow. Word 2, because. The third word on this list is the most overlooked. It is so small, so ordinary, that most people never notice the profound effect it has on the emotional quality of everything around it. Because. Let me show you what this word does. Imagine someone says to you, I enjoy talking to you. That is pleasant, polite, maybe slightly flattering, but it does not stay. It could apply to anyone. Now, feel what happens when that same sentence becomes, I enjoy talking to you because you have this way of seeing things that makes me pause and think differently. Do you feel that shift? Suddenly, it is not just a statement. It is a reflection. It carries evidence. It tells you that the person speaking was not just going through conversational motions that were spanked. They were actually paying attention. They noticed something specific about you, something real. And that is extraordinarily rare in ordinary conversation. Most people move through interactions half present. They are physically there, but mentally preparing their next response. They hear words without truly absorbing what is underneath them. So when someone uses because in a genuine, specific way, when they offer a real reason rooted in genuine observation, it communicates something that most words cannot. It says, I see you, not just what you say, but how you think, how you move, the small, specific, unmistakable things that make you distinctly yourself. There is a well-known finding in psychology that people respond more positively to requests and interactions that include a reason, even when the reason is simple, because the brain is wired to respond to meaning.
When you provide a reason, you reduce uncertainty. You create structure. You make the moment feel intentional rather than random. But in emotional communication, it goes beyond logic. Because creates a bridge between your feeling and your awareness. It shows that your words are not generic. They are rooted in something real, something you actually noticed. The key is specificity. Vague language slides off the mind. Specific language attaches to it. I like spending time with you is forgettable. I like spending time with you because you are one of the only people I know who can be completely quiet without it feeling uncomfortable. That creates a feeling. That gives the mind something to hold on to. We are halfway through and the final 3 words go even deeper. Before we get there, please subscribe to Secrets Inside the Mind if you have not already. I am here every single day. Subscribe and let us keep going. I appreciate.
The 4th and 5th words carry the most emotional depth of everything on this list. And they carry that depth because appreciation is fundamentally different from attraction. I appreciate. Attraction can be quick. It can be visual. It can come and go with circumstances. But appreciation is slower, more considered. It comes from genuinely seeing someone, not just for what they look like or what they do for you, but for who they actually are beneath all of that. And that distinction is what makes it so rare and so powerful. Most people are accustomed to compliments. You're beautiful, you're great, you're so fun. And while those things carry warmth, they do not go deep. Many people have heard them so many times that they no longer feel anything from them at all. They slide off without leaving a mark. But appreciation, genuine, specific, observed appreciation that reaches somewhere compliments cannot. Because appreciation requires presence. It requires you to have actually been paying enough attention to notice something meaningful about someone's character, the way they handle something difficult, the quality they bring to a room without trying, the thing they do that most people never acknowledge. Feel the difference between you are so kind and I appreciate how you treat people when they are struggling. You do not make a big thing of it. You just show up, and that is rare. One is a surface compliment. The other is recognition. And recognition is what creates emotional impact. Because deep down, what most people crave is not to be admired. It is to be understood. To have someone notice something real about who they are and reflect it back to them, honestly. When you appreciate someone genuinely, you are also communicating something important about your own character. You are telling them that you are paying attention, that you are not just present in body, but actually seeing them. And that quality, the quality of being truly present with another person, is one of the most attractive things a human being can offer. There is something else that happens psychologically when genuine appreciation is expressed. It removes pressure from the interaction. When you appreciate someone freely, without needing anything in return, without it being a calculated move, it creates a completely different energy. It creates space. It removes expectation. And that space is where the most genuine connections form, bringing it all together, the complete sentence. Now, let us put all 5 words together, because individually each one is powerful. Combined in the right moment, they create something that most conversations never come close to producing. I want to see you again because I appreciate the energy you bring. Everything just feels lighter when you are around. Pause and really feel that sentence. There is clarity. I want no hiding, no ambiguity, no softening of genuine intention. There is reasoning because evidence that you were actually paying attention, that this is not generic, that it is rooted in something real. There is depth. I appreciate recognition of something meaningful about who she is, not just how she looks or what she does. And there is specificity. the energy you bring. Everything feels lighter. Something she can visualize, something she can feel, something that could only have been said about her by someone who was genuinely present. That is not a line. That is not a technique. That is honest, emotionally grounded communication. And it is so rare that when someone hears it, delivered with genuine calm and genuine presence, it stays with them. Here is what is happening psychologically when you communicate this way. The first thing is emotional anchoring. When your words create a genuine, positive emotional experience, your presence becomes associated with that feeling. So when she thinks of you later, she does not just recall what you said, she recalls how she felt when you said it. And that recalled feeling is what draws people back towards someone again and again. The second thing is novelty. You are breaking the pattern of predictable surface-level conversation. The brain is naturally drawn to what feels genuinely different, not louder, not more impressive, simply more real, more present, more honest. The third thing is emotional safety. There is no pressure in these words when they are delivered from a centered, secure place. No neediness, no hidden agenda, just clear, grounded, honest expression. And when someone feels emotionally safe with you, when they feel they can be genuinely themselves without being evaluated or pressured, they open. They become more curious. They want more of the interaction.
I want to say something important here before we close, because with emotional impact comes influence. And influence should always be used with integrity. These words are not tools for manipulation. They are not strategies for creating false attachment or manufacturing feelings that are not there. They are expressions of what is already genuinely true, which means timing matters. You do not force these words into every conversation just to create an effect. You wait for moments that are already real. After a conversation that genuinely moved you. After a date that actually felt good. In a quiet moment where something natural was already being shared. And when you say them simply. No over-explaining, no performing. Just calm, steady, present honesty. Your tone matters. Your eye contact matters. The quality of your attention matters. Because words alone are never the full message. They need to be supported by the energy of the person speaking them. When everything is aligned, when what you feel and what you say and how you say it are all the same thing, words land. And they land in a way that stays. Attraction is not built in grand gestures. It is built in small, emotionally honest moments that feel authentic enough to be remembered. Moments that leave a quiet imprint. Moments that stay, even in silence. When you speak with clarity, when you notice deeply, when you appreciate genuinely, you stop being just another conversation and you become an experience. Something rare, something felt, something that stays with her long after the moment has passed. Now I want to hear from you. Is there someone in your life right now, someone you genuinely appreciate, who has never heard you say so? What would it sound like if you told them honestly, using what we talked about today? Tell me in the comments. I genuinely want to know.
If this video gave you something real today, please give it a like, share it with someone in your life who would benefit from hearing this, and subscribe to Secrets Inside the Mind if you have not already. I am here every single day. I am Liza. I will see you tomorrow.